Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 159 of the FAB and Fearless Business Booster Shot Show. My name is Yinka. I'm a business strategist, a coach, a speaker, and an incoming author. And I support women to create wealth in and through their businesses by helping them to focus on what matters most for the business, which is cash flow and strategy, and what matters most for the business owner, which is mindset and habit. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you to this 159th episode of the Booster Shot Show, where each week at 1:30 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday, I come to you with a short, sharp shot to boost both you and your business with one powerful truth and one actionable tip. And so if you can see and hear me over on my social platforms, feel free to jump into the chat, come and say hello and let me know that you are here. Hello, fabulous Jackie. Thank you so much for joining me live today. It is so good to have you in the spaces. I really appreciate you letting me know that you can see me over on Facebook. So I will just double check that we are live over on LinkedIn and YouTube, and then we will rock and roll on our topic for today, which is the August advantage. While I am doing that, feel free to come along, say hello, invite a friend, tag a friend that you know is a woman in business that could really benefit from hearing this message today. And yeah, we get to rock and roll. Thank you. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for sharing that you are the LinkedIn user. I have no idea why it will not show me your signs clearly, but I'm so grateful to have you here. Awesome lady. We are talking the August advantage. And so thank you for joining me today. Ladies, how are you doing? Let me know your scores on the doors on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, oh my gosh, Yinka things could not be any worse. Or number 10 being Yinka, wow, things could not be any better. How are you feeling today? I am a good, solid 8 today. I'm coming from a slightly different venue, and I'm doing something, you'll be very proud of me. I am doing something today that kind of gives me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. I'm feeling a little nervous today. So I'm really excited because I love and feel that growth that you get when something is unfamiliar. Hello, Fabulous and Zinga. Thank you so much for joining me today over on YouTube. Thank you for joining me on YouTube. Ladies and gents, if you are not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, honestly, get over there, literally subscribe. I think I have 3, maybe 10 subscribers. We are going to be really ramping up onto YouTube as we go into Q4 later this year. So you are going to want to be there for the magic that we will be sharing over there. But in the interim, let us talk about the August advantage. Welcome, Bookie. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you because I know you're normally at school this time. So I'm so grateful to have you with us. Awesome lady. Thank you for joining us today. Right. The August advantage, ladies and gents, is exactly how it sounds. It is about giving yourself the advantage in your business, in your bank account, and in your life in the month of August. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because everyone is just bought into, let me rephrase, many people, should never say always, should never say never, and I just literally said never, so many people buy into the notion of the summer slump. So many people buy into the notion that the month of, the end of July, the month of August is really challenging in business because everybody's on summer, everybody goes away, which is not true. So the reason why I wanted to talk about it today is because I really want to offer you some really powerful alternate insights that also get to be true, and to help you to give yourself the summer sparkle through giving yourself the August advantage. Hi, Laura, lovely to have you in the spaces today. And so the first thing I want to ask you, feel free to jump into the chat and let me know, is have you either been hearing about this summer slump, the summer slowdown, whatever you want to call it? Or is it just something that have you been hearing about it? Do you believe in it? Are you aware of this paradigm of thinking that summer is slower, summer is tougher, summer sucks? um, are you aware of this way of thinking? I hear it so often. And to be honest, I really do opt out of it. But I really want to speak more powerfully to the reasons why. Not only does summer not have to be slower, it gets to be quicker. Ooh, she said what she said. Not only does summer not have to be slower, it gets to be bigger. It gets to be better. I've got a story to tell you from my own business, and I want to share some insights and information for you to help you to really bust out of the misery that you hear so often, or at least I do, around the idea of, oh, summer, summer's going to be slow, summer, the summer slowdown. So the first thing I want to say to you is the reason why I called this the August advantage as opposed to the summer spectacular or the summer, superstar, situation or what have you. I love what Sharon has said here is, she's aware of it, but after Cash Flow Summer School last year, you don't believe it anymore. Cash Flow Summer School was such a vibe. I had the best time, and hold fire, awesome lady, because something even better is coming, and I'll tell you a bit more about that in a second. But he said, yes, heard that sales from late June to August are slower, and Yinka said, I have been hearing about it. No one is at work or engaging as they are on holiday, and hello to Joe. Okay, so the reason why I call it the August advantage as opposed to the summer anything is because I would love to do a drum roll, but if I do, I'm sure my laptop is just going to do. Anyway, the reason I don't refer to it as the summer anything is because summer is not an international phenomenon in the world right now. I know that it's really hard to believe this, but we often have this effect in our mind where we believe that the thing that we are going through now is the thing that everyone on the planet all over the world is also going through. And I want to remind you that in the Southern Hemisphere, it's winter. Like, this is not summer for them, this is winter for them. And so it always makes me smile when I see pictures of like snowball fights in Australia at this time of year, and people are hell bent on believing in the summer slump. It's not even summer everywhere. Like, drop in the chat, let me know if that serves as like a tiny little light bulb moment for you. So, and the reason I say that is because that people are very hell bent on believing this is truth, when universal summer is not even a truth. It's not summer everywhere. As I said, in the Southern Hemisphere right now, it's winter, but even more powerfully, in the band of tropical countries, they don't have summer and winter. It's just hot all the time. It's like raining season, dry season. And so our obsession with summer, our obsession with it must be summer, it must be slower, it's not even factual. Like, it's not geographically factual. It is not temporally factual. It's not summer everywhere. So yes, you may well be in a country that is experiencing summer right now. That is not the truth for every person on the planet. So that's the first thing I want to remind you. It is really important that we remember that just because we are experiencing it, that doesn't mean that everybody everywhere is experiencing it. Hi, Leader Keys Unlocked. They said my marketing person is in Zimbabwe talking about how cold it is. It is not summer everywhere. I love that. It isn't summer everywhere. It isn't summer everywhere at all. So that's the first thing I want to share with you. The second thing I want to remind you is that what people do and don't do is very different to what problems do and don't do. And so let's say, for example, that people stop going to work. Let's say everyone goes on holiday. Everyone may well go on holiday. Hi, Latrice. Thank you so much for letting me know who you are. It's so good to have you here with us over on YouTube. So yes, the fact that people stop going to work, that therefore means that they may well not respond to their work email. Perfect. That's a great insight, and that's good to know. And the thing I want you to be aware of is their work email A, is not the only way that you can communicate with them, and B, doesn't stop them responding to many other types of things. Many of my clients are in the education sector, and so they are no longer going to school. They're no longer having to go into the education establishment. So if I was going to communicate with them in their work email, I wouldn't expect a response. And therein lies the point. Because ultimately, even over a summer holiday, not everyone in the school is not in the school. Teachers may not be, fair enough. But there are many people on 365-day contracts. And so it's so important that we do not automatically slap a limiting belief onto something that that isn't universally true. And just because people, take a break, I don't know anybody who is going on a 31-day holiday in August. I don't know anybody. I know people who are taking time off. I think maybe one person who is determined to have zero contact through the month of August. That's one person out of 8 billion. What is tending to happen is people are taking a few days off here and there, 1 week off, 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off. But that's an individual experience as opposed to an entire industry, an entire organization. And it's also important to recognize that just because the people stop coming into work doesn't mean the problems go away. Problems definitely don't take a summer break, even if the people who have them take a summer break. And so can you see here, ladies and gents, how we have been, I wouldn't say lied to, but we've definitely been deceived into believing in these universal ideas that are far from universal. They are not happening to everybody. And it's so fascinating because the example that I gave you in terms of my clients in the education space, because their usual experience is, I'm doing my business a bit, I'm doing, work in school a bit. Now they have more time, not less, on the business side. Now, I'm not just here, to smash ideals or anything like that. But what I want you to see, ladies and gents, is the importance of not just believing a single story. As I said, I think I know one person who is off from the 1st to the 31st of August. That's one person. That is one singular person, maybe even a singular family. And there are 8 billion people on the planet. And whatever the size of your market is in the marketplace, is definitely bigger than one person. And problems don't go away. They're not going away just because the people are taking a beat. And so the thing, and what I wanted to bring to your attention is that the August advantage starts with a way of thinking. It starts with a way of thinking. Why? Because of the powerful truth that I want to really make sure that you're clear on today, which is simply this. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right. Whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you are right. And so the August advantage begins in your mind. Do you believe that you can make the cash that you want with the work that you want in August? 2 years ago, I took the decision that August was going to be the biggest month in my business. And because my children were off from school, I wasn't going to be, always chained to my desk, always working. I wanted to make sure that I also spent quality time with my children and that I would have less work to do, but still make more money than ever. So that was a decision that I made to first of all make that happen. And long story short, that was exactly what happened. Until that point that August was the biggest month in my business in that year until December, because then I made the decision again. But I decided that I decided that August was going to be powerful. I also decided that August was going to give me the advantage that I needed for the rest of the year and to set up the year to come. Because make no mistake, when it comes to business, what you are, your outcomes and your actions, there is what is called a lag time. So there are very few things that you will do today and then you'll see the results tomorrow. What tends to happen is you do today and then there is a lag and then you see the results a little bit further down the line. Now, people don't tend to agree on the length of that lag, but that lag can be as much as 90 days. Some people say 30, some people say 60, others say 90. And so the fact is, and the reason why this lag occurs is because of the need for nurture and for focus and for things to take fruition. But the other thing that is so powerful for us to remember and where the August advantage becomes really powerful is because of the concept of momentum. Momentum, for the ladies who work with me, they know full well that momentum is one of my favorite words in the English language. Yet is most powerful and momentum is most juicy. Why? Because momentum makes results unstoppable. When someone has momentum, they have an outsized advantage. They have the leverage of consistent action. So it means that they can do tiny and they can result in massive because they've got all these little tiny dots along the road and they're building up and building up and building up, and it's creating this snowball effect that creates incredible results. So on the day that you saw them do tiny, what they have at their back is unstoppable momentum. Now, the reason I love momentum and the reason why it's so powerful, particularly for women in business, is because I'm a wife, I'm a mum, I'm a daughter. I have so many things going on in my world. My business is far from the only thing that I do. And also because I don't have the bandwidth to engage all the time in 10x experiences, 10x actions, 10x behavior. Hi, Obi. And so because I couldn't do 10x, I also decided that I wasn't going to not have 10x results. Now, that doesn't even sound like it should be fair. How, Yinka, can you want 10x results without putting 10x input? And the answer to that question was I don't put in 10x input, I put in 10x consistency. Tiny little actions plus 10x consistency equals 10x results. And so for me, momentum, I was going to say it's a secret weapon, but since I'm live streaming this to the public online, it's clearly not a secret anymore. Momentum is the secret difference that makes the difference. And so this is where August, honestly, when I look at people suffering and struggling in October and November, I can tell what happened in August. Not because I am a magician or I have a crystal ball. It's because I'm a business strategist. It's because I understand lag indicators. It's because I understand and I respect and I am a student of the school of consistency and momentum. And so many people will lose momentum in August because they feel under pressure to behave in a certain way around August because it has to align with their thinking of the summer slowdown, the summer slump, the slower sales. And I was like, no, man, I am not about that life. And because I'm not about that life, I want a different outcome. So I need to take a different action because if I do what I've always done, I will get what I've always gotten. And to be fair, I actually, I'm still pretty new in my business. I know you see me all the time. You think I've been here forever. I really haven't. We are, this is our fifth kind of trading year in the business. So we're still pretty new. But what I can tell you for sure is how important understanding this particular time is. And so making the decision in the first instance, number one, to have the biggest month of my year to date, because September will be bigger and October will be bigger. But I decided I would have the biggest month in my year to date. And I wasn't going to put in more work. My mantra is rich and rested. So I was very clear about how I wanted to do it and what I wanted to create. And so what I decided for myself, and this is part of the reason why I did Cashflow Summer School last year, and I have something as well for this year, but I'll explain in a moment. This was the reason why I just decided to take a different approach. But the different approach starts with different thinking. Because I needed to answer the question, if I'm going to work less and earn more, how am I going to make that happen? How can I bring in more money and still do less work? And this is where making the decision then becomes incredibly powerful, because it gives you the opportunity to then make decisions about what you want to do in alignment with what you want to create. You cannot possibly create the results you want if you won't first agree and admit that they're the results you want. Let me know in the chat if this is making sense, because so many people want to make more while working less, and yet they won't, because they won't even admit that they want that. They think it's impossible. They think that thinking about things that are impossible or they don't really know how to do isn't a vibe, and so they won't even they won't entertain the notion, and so they don't even begin the process of trying to make it a reality. What I want to let you know, though, is that I always have a standout August. Summer is always a vibe in the bank account over here in Colour Towers, because we believe it will be, and we act in alignment with our beliefs. And so we make sure, for example, one of the ways that we are able to really make sure that we have a standout cash a month without having a really hard working month is we remember the truth that when you pay and when you get stuff does not have to go together. And we know this to be true. We experience this in so many spaces in our lives. We pay for plane tickets when we buy the plane tickets. And then we fly when we fly. And the two rarely go together. I know people, I've been speaking to them. They're buying tickets now for December. They're buying tickets now for next March. They're paying now. They're flying months from now. So these are realities that we know to be true in our experience. But then when it comes into our business, we're like, oh my gosh, like more cash equals more work. False. More cash does not have to equal more work. More cash comes from smart work, innovative thinking, and honestly, mental discipline. Because if you believe you can, you will. And if you believe you can't, you won't. So you first of all need to decide what you believe about August. And as I said, the August advantage comes from a number of spaces. One is in the way you think about August. Two is in deciding to own what you want to be true. Three is in ensuring that you act in a way that you maintain your momentum. And like I said, in the way that I work, working in August to maintain momentum is cool because I focus on little and often. So the things I need to do to maintain my momentum are still little. I don't build my business on the need to spend, 13 hours a day working left, right, and center in order to make any money. I also price I price for leverage. I price for cash flow. And so there are a few different elements, starting with the thinking, making the decision, aligning the actions to the decision, and then getting support in order to have the tools, the factors, the resources, and the containers to create the cash in the way that you want to create it. Let me know if this is landing for you. Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know that this is clear. I am obviously covering quite a lot of detail in a very short space of time. But it really does start with that belief. If you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, you won't. The August advantage starts in your mind, but make no mistake that the effects of that thinking is 100% real. Do not think that because it starts in your mind, that's where it ends. Because if you sleep, I read this in a post earlier today. I'm trying to remember who posted it. But honestly, they said it so perfectly. If you sleep on August, if you sleep on the advantage that you can give yourself in August, September will sleep on you. And if September sleeps on you, that means you're going to struggle into Q4, October. And if Q4 is a struggle, then you're going to create struggle as you get set for Q1 2026. I am not trying to horror story you. I'm not trying to scare you. I am trying to make it super clear to you how powerful this opportunity is and how incredible this opportunity gets to be for those who are determined to create magic for themselves in their businesses, their bank accounts, and their lives. Honestly, I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I never sleep on August. August is a vibe, and I'm absolutely committed. The women in my spaces and the others that I'm calling in, I'm committed to making August the most advantageous month of their year. And as I said, I'm calling women in. I'm calling women in. If you are not currently working with me and you fancy coming in to make some real magic in your world in a way that adopts a little and often approach, so we're not trashing nervous systems, we're not mashing up our well-being, we're not making it so that you come out of August and then you're like, oh gosh, I need a holiday because I'm so burnt out. If it sounds like your vibe and it sounds like you want to really create an advantage for you and your business and your bank account over August, then I have an invitation for you. But I'm not going to make it here. I'm going to get you to drop the word August in the comments or the DMs of wherever you are watching this. If you're on YouTube, come find me on Facebook or LinkedIn. I don't know if YouTube even has DMs. But if you want to find out more about this little and often approach, about that helps you to really make cash flow inevitable and to put the momentum on your side. So many people are going to faff around in August and then they're going to start getting revved up in September. And then they're going to be trying to really catch up in October. And then we're already into Q4. Well, October is already Q4. Then they're going to be worried about the slowdown in December. This does not have to be you. And if you're determined that it is not going to be you, then I really want to invite you to take this one actionable tip, which is simply to make a decision. What will your August mean to you? Are you going to give yourself the advantage of the time that it gives you and the fact that many other people believe in the summer slump, which means that generally things can be quieter in certain spaces, which means that you have the opportunity to take those little often actions that really stand you in good stead? Or will you just subscribe to the summer slump and let this all figure itself out in September? What will your August mean to you? How will you give yourself the August advantage? Ask yourself that question. If you're in my spaces, come back and let me know. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. Ladies, if you are not in my spaces, but you want to find out how you can really give yourself the August advantage in a really structured, powerful, and potent way, then drop me the word August in the comments or in my DMs, and I'll be happy to share more about the magic that we are creating in August. Right, ladies and gents, that is everything I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for joining me live. Please let me know how you found it, what your biggest takeaway was. Please let me know the answer to the question of what will your August mean to you. I'm really excited to hear more about how that gets to be for you. And in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you in the spaces. So take care, have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.